players are taking now is absolutely frightening, way more than it was when he played. What are your thoughts on what's happening in the game and how it's being played?
Yeah, they're just much better athletes. They're bigger, faster, stronger. So basically what I did, I'd play for 80 minutes at 97 kilos. They've got guys that do that at 102, 103 kilos, and they're faster than I was and stronger than I was. So they're just the new later prototype. They've got bigger and stronger through training methods, but mainly through recovery. Their recovery methods are so much better than we ever had. The game itself...
You mean that Durry, beer doesn't work anymore?
The beer still works for me. I really applaud rugby league with the concussion rule just come in. In my day, to play concussed was normal, and
it was a badge of honour, wasn't it?
Yeah, you refused to come off. So that's great. They've taken that away from the player, especially the club, because the clubs are there for player welfare. But if it means a difference to make the grand final or not, you're going back out.
It's a business.
That's ultimately how it works. The bunker, look. I actually like the bunker. It's caused a bit of controversy, but that's the future. We've got two options. We either regress back to one referee, no replays on TV, and we live with the byproduct of that. Yeah? And that's fine. I'm happy to do that. What we can't, or we use the bunker system and we try and get it better. We're trying to bring perfection to an imperfect world. We've got to try and get as perfect as we can. If we don't go that way, we can't go in between. Because what will happen is certain commentators, Phil Gordon like, they will carve up the referee every time, and the referees will cop a pounding, and there's just such a negative stimulus around the game. So I think the bunker is the way to go, unless we regress the whole way back. And I just don't think in the modern world we're very good at going backwards in technology.
I have a question in relation to the referees. They seem to be diving in every second, every time somebody's tackled. These guys come off unable to speak. They're yelling the whole time, offering direction, telling you, asking you how your mother is, and everything, except blowing the pee out of the whistle, which I thought was the idea of the game. Not necessarily to stop the game, but to referee it. There appears to be no responsibility on the part of the player to be onside. Even when they kick off, they yell, "Stay behind the line!" And I thought, that's pretty simple, isn't it? Perhaps we're asking too much of the modern day player.
Look, I refereed one game when I was under 14s and under 8s game, and I never did it again. So anyone in the room that's ever refereed anything, it's incredibly hard. I believe, like I do with my staff, power by empowerment. The referees have a thing called the sin bin. They've got to use it more often, and even if they go to a 5-minute sin bin, because it's like a virus. If you allow someone to be disrespectful to the referee, everything goes to anarchy quite quickly, especially when you have repeat offenders. The way the Broncos and the Cowboys play, their default option is attack, whereas so many other clubs can't match that, so what they do is they try and slow you down. My opinion is, if I catch your team doing the same thing 3 times, aka slowing down, the next one goes to bin for 5 minutes. So for 5 minutes, being 3 sets of 6, you're down to 12 men, so even if this team doesn't score, you're going to burn petrol, and that's the penalty for cheating. And that's how I play. They've got the sin bin rule, and the best way to make coaches make adjustments to their team is for them to say, ouch, if you keep doing that, it's going to hurt us more than if you don't do it.
Make it their responsibility. Yeah, take it off the umpires. The state of origin, not that far away now. You can see, look at bead of sweat just appeared straight away. Do you champ at the bit? Do you?
Yeah. The only time I really get G'd up now is the state of origin time. I love it. It's great. Honestly, as I said, when I was 20, come from Wollongara, and I remember I stayed 17 games in the same hotel, same room, same bed, Travelodge and Roma Street. And I had different roomies over that time. But I remember as a 20-year-old kid, you've got to imagine from Wollongara, I saw the first Origin game like so many people did in this room, as a 9-year-old kid, and I said to Mum and Dad, that's all I wanted to do. When I was 15, I started training virtually every day to play Origin. Nothing else mattered. That's all I wanted to do. And when I was 20, I reached that dream. And I remember the night of my first Origin game, we've had a team meeting, and that Travelodge 6th floor has a big balcony. I went out on the balcony, I looked over the edge, and all I could see, I was talking about, a stream of maroon coming up Roma Street. And what I realised then is everyone in Queenslander cares. Everyone buys in. Doesn't matter if you're Wollongara or Weipa. Doesn't matter. The buy-in is there, whether you're a rugby league supporter or not. everyone loves the maroon, especially sticking into New South Wales. So that to me is special. The Origin will be great again. And actually, just quickly on that, the very first day I played, turned up to my Origin camp, so room 610, first bedroom in the door, threw my bag on the bed, I've gone down for a team meeting. Sat down, and like anyone who plays rep sport, they usually sit behind the side of the heroes. I sat down beside Alfie Langer. And in the room, in the room, you've Mel Meninga spoke as captain. There's Wally Lewis. You know, there's Steve Renoff. There's Gary Belcher. All my heroes are in the room. I've gone back to my room and I've just been given the tracksuit that I've been training 5 years for. I looked down, I sat down in the bed thinking about all the people that helped me be there. My mum had just passed away. All my brothers, all my former teammates and coaches. I'm looking down at this tracksuit, and Peter Jackson walked in behind me, and I'll never forget it. He knew exactly what headspace I was in. He said, "Welcome to the Maroon family. Next Wednesday night, you go out and prove you belong in this family." I went, "Jacko." Said, "Jacko, I'm pumped. So let's go train. Let's go train. Let's get into it." He said, "Train? Train? We don't train." So what did he go? "We go to the pub." So we're business people, we know numbers. We drank for 4 days, saved it up for 2, and we smashed them on the 7th. There you go. That's Queenslander for you.
I used to be the news director of Triple M in Brisbane, and Peter Jackson was one of my staff members as a sports reporter.
Good luck.
Yeah, well, it was fun. We had fun, and the newsroom in that old building was kind of this long, tubular thing. And yeah, in radio we used to burn a bit of spirit from time to time because it's a fairly intense industry. Everything's all kind of split second, snap, snap, snap. And so you got to burn in some way, shape or form. We used to play cricket in the newsroom. And I mean, footballers are tough. They're not a normal breed. He looks normal, but they're not a normal breed. The kind of hug at the end, when they score a try and they come and hug each other, it would kill the average person. You would be a shirt full of busted ribs, but these guys think nothing of it. When you play this cricket game inside this little newsroom, and the sales manager of the day dashed forward to hit this ball, big swing with a normal cricket bat, Jacko dives in to get the ball, gets hit in the head with a cricket bat. Oh, and there's blood streaming there. Oh, this is bad. This is not going. No worries. He heads off to the doctor. There's 5 stitches going in his head. He's back again in half an hour. No problems. Most people be home. They'd be taking pills. And no, that's a normal thing for a footballer, and that's the kind of life these boys lead. For the fellas you see in action now, some of them are going to be businessmen. Some of them are going to be challenged. What are the challenges for a professional sports person who, of the likes of the Broncos or the Cowboys, kind of one team town, one team town. What are the challenges and pressures for them? I mean, we see some of them go off shape, and you talked about Wayne Pearce, and there's his son who may have a different mentality that hopefully will change at some stage in his life. What do you see for these guys?
Great question. The most important thing is while they're at the coalface, earn as much money as you can, play for as long as you can, and put it away. Because the day you retire, with rugby league it's strange, everyone will retire either on a Friday, Saturday or Sunday. Monday they'll have Mad Monday. Tuesday they wake up, they're unemployed. And the majority have no skill set to do anything else. And that's why I often say repeat offenders for behavioural incidents, they should be made to do a few things. Go and dig ditches. Be a labourer. Because that's one of their callings they've probably got skill set for. Go and work in hospitality like I did. Do split shifts. Deal with angry customers and shitty chefs. Because that's another possibility. Go and work in small business. Go and work with some of the people in this room and work out how hard it is to balance the books, to pay the bass. All those hidden costs eat away your margin and get you frustrated. They should do that for 6 to 8 weeks. Because what they'll realise then is when it's finished, it's finished. And trying to skill themselves up. Because they need to pull themselves out of that goldfish bowl, because that goldfish bowl is surreal. And you think about 1 in 10,000 make it into the goldfish bowl and make enough money. Then for those that want to hang around inside the goldfish bowl, the media jobs, only 1 in 100 make those. So the numbers and odds get stacked up against you. So my advice to all of them is play as much as you can, earn as much as you can, but then look to have a second string to your bow. And that's why I suppose my mum put me in university. And uni, I did the science degree and I've had no calling for it. But it's one of the great lessons I've had from my uni. That when I was 20 years old, I told you about that first game. You're in camp for 7 days and I'm doing science. Bunch of nerds, right? And physiology. And I've come back to the uni after being away for 7 days. I scored the only try in that my debut game in 1992 game 2. And I remember I walked into the class thinking, how good am I? Go, look here. G'day, ladies. Origin try scorer. And a couple of the guys that didn't know me that well walked up and said, where have you been? I said, what do you mean, where have I been? We thought you quit. I said, oh, I was playing Origin. I went, oh yeah, fair enough. But what I realised for them, the physics professor was there, Wally Lewis. And that made me always remember that I was in a goldfish bowl. And you have to pull yourself out of it to have the ability, because you retire at 30, you've got 50, 60 more years of your life to live. The ones who transition out and you hear success stories are the ones who get out of the goldfish bowl the quickest.
Cool. The man is fit, he's running marathons, but this is the challenge of being a rock star footballer. You become a target, an absolute target, and some of them can come very young. Tell us about your calf muscle injury.
Yeah, I lost my weight, I got to 106, and as I said, I lived in that world. And then my wife runs marathons, so she got me running marathons. Again, another bit of advice, don't do those. But I ran the New York Marathon 2 years ago, my first and only, and that was it. Anyway, as wives, and all the men will nod here, as the wives know, as the husbands know, wives have a bit of leverage. And she said, you're doing another marathon, so I'm doing the Great Wall of China Marathon in 5 weeks' time. So I've been doing a bit of running, got a bit tight, and I'm the assistant coach for Maroochydore under 10s, my son. And I've turned up there 2 weeks ago, and the coach was getting flustered, and I said, look mate, I'll just take the boys and do a little defensive drill. And he said, no worries. So I said, okay boys, we're going to learn cover defence. Okay, you guys, this guy here, the smallest bloke in the team, said, mate, you run down the sideline, I'll show the guys how to get in position to cover tackle. Heydays back, I said, Billy Moore, cover defence, can do this. And the kid goes, you ready? I said, mate, just go. It won't matter, just go. He said, righto. Boom, he's taken off. And I realised I was behind, and the old body just didn't have it. I jumped out of the box to catch him, tore my calf. I'm doing this. And this little kid's only about that high. He's going, oh, I stuffed up Billy Moore.
The first time he's been smashed by an opponent. Ladies and gentlemen, please thank Billy Moore. Thanks, Billy.